Hey, good morning, y'all. So this video is going to be about replacing my intercooler charger cooler pipe. This is going to be a cold side. This is the infamous pipe that always more so just releases a little too much boost. There ends up being a tear in the rubber. I can see from in the past, it's actually busted, and this was replaced. But I'm just going to throw on the H&S charger cooler new silicone pipe. So reasonable price, bought it off of Amazon. I'll just go ahead and post the link down below with where I bought it with the link, and let's go ahead and get started. Here's the tools that you're going to need to remove the old pipe. All right, so I'm using two 6-inch 3/8 drive extensions. I'm going to be using a 7/16 socket. All right, this is for just making the job quicker. We have a flathead and then two picks. You'll just need one pick to remove the circle clip that really locks in the new piece. All right, guys, so here is the new set. All right, so O-ring right there. This should be a billet aluminum piece. That's looking nice, really nice. Wow. Okay. All right, and then we have the silicone pipe. Take a look at this pipe. This looks phenomenal. Awesome. Silicone, strong stuff. It has some kind of liner on the inside. It's pink. Anyways, quality kit. Can't go wrong. Got it in a couple days, so this will get the job done. All right, and then we have some clamps to secure everything together. Two clamps look pretty stout. Two zip ties. A nice little sticker, H&S Motorsports. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to removing the factory pipe. All right, guys, so as you can see, there's a bolt right there peeking out, right? That's a 7/16. So go ahead and loosen that bolt up until it's fairly loose, but that's gonna have to get slid out of the actual intercooler. Next thing is removing that connector right there. Pinch, pull, you'll be good to go. Here are the two flathead screws that you're gonna have to loosen. And then here's the clip that I was telling you about that'll need the small pick. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and loosen these two, remove that connector right there, and loosen that bolt all the way. And then I'll show you how to do this, remove this clip. All right, guys, so what I had to do is pull up on this clip just a tad and then pull the pipe really out. That alleviated me trying to pull this out because it would have had to get knocked into that air box right there. So it was just easier just to pull the pipe, because that's all it really does is help secure it onto the actual throttle body, I guess. So we got an open throttle body. What I'm going to do, clean that out. I'm going to go ahead and pull this pipe out and show you the install of the H&S. All right, guys, so after cleaning a little bit of the throttle body as well as the portion of the pipe that are removed from the intercooler, wipe that off real quick. Here's the battle damage assessment on just wiping down as far as I can into the throttle body. So if I would have known it was going to be that dirty, that caked up, I probably would have removed it, but that requires a new throttle body gasket that I do not. All right, so let's analyze these pieces. So a lot of people replace these for not only the longevity, but the reliability, because this will leave you on the side of the road. So I've done a few long road trips and I've had the H&S in the back of my truck just in case it went out and the tools necessary or required to replace this. It won't be able to hold boost anymore, so your truck will feel extremely underpowered, and yeah, it'll just, it's almost undrivable. You can limp your way to wherever you need to go, but that's why a lot of people replace these parts. This is usually rubber. Some parts, I think some I've seen that are rubber, and it actually has a tear right here after a while. On stock, you don't have to be deleted. You don't even have to be running extra power. These things will give out on you, just a matter of time, depending on probably how hard you run your truck.
we'll have to use this center clip, so I'll remove that. But I just wanted to show you how it looks like on the inside. Here's some oil, just very oily. We'll have to remove this sensor right here. Not the worst, but not the best. Guys, so I wanted to show you how I remove this small sensor that's off of the pipe. So what I used was just a small clip, a small pick, sorry. So this was actually right over here, and as you can see, there's a slightly elevated portion right there that'll lock it in place. So what I did was use the pick, slightly raise it above it, and then turn it counterclockwise. And once it reaches that point, you'll be good to remove it. Just like that. So it's secured by an O-ring, which is why it's slightly tight, but you want it slightly tight because it's actually sealing it off from everything going on in the engine bay. All right, so let's wipe this off, probably with some mass airflow sensor cleaner, and be on our way. I went ahead and removed the C-clip, that spring. All right, I went in, just kind of pushed it in right there. There's some grooves for the C-clip or the circle clip, so everything's locked in. All we're gonna have to do is push this in and it'll lock in place. One thing I did want to go over is this sensor. All right, so this is the way here's the top. This is gonna be facing the top of the engine bay. So I wanted this clip to be showing out, but I also wanted to make sure that this was oriented correctly. So I compared the way it looked on this piece, all right, and the way the sensor was actually showing when it came to air flowing through the pipe. I have no idea if that makes sense, but anyways, this is correct. And so this is the way I had it installed. So I went in, inserted it, twisted clockwise, it locked in place. You'll feel it, don't over tighten it. You'll see that the O-ring goes below, or just, you won't be able to see the O-ring, which means it's seated well. Anyways, next step is going to be the O-ring. I almost forgot. All right, so here's the O-ring that came with the packet. It's gonna sit right here in this ridge within this clamp, within this piece. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can do this with one hand. Perfect. All right. I didn't put anything on it. It'll be all right, but you can. I've seen some people use some soap, a little bit of grease. There's oil that is going to get up in here, so it doesn't matter if you use oil as well. All right, so here we have it. Everything's in place. What I did is grab the wire. I already plugged it in because it will be a tight fit once you're trying to push it in. So try and do this. I probably need a little more clearance. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and remove this small clip that's securing this wire to the frame or the radiator, so I can get a little more distance out of this before I press this that billet piece in. All right, so I unplugged a little bit of it. I may have to do another strand. All right, so it's plugged in. It's pressed up. All right, let's try and push this in. There it is. All right, so we have just enough distance for this plug-in right there. That's fine. As you can, you should have heard it clip in, so yeah, that's in there. Oh, that ain't going nowhere. All right, time for the pipe. All right, guys, so I hope I've showed you step by step. I'm gonna continue doing that. It's just the way I've always done it. All right, so you have these two clamps that came with the kit. All right, I'm gonna orient it on the right side. Give me a little space as I tighten it out or adjust it in the future. And then the same with this. All right, that's gonna be on the outer portion just because it gets a little crowded in this area where my pinky's kind of shaking down underneath where the intercooler's at. So they're gonna tell you to, I'm gonna use a little bit of soap so that it kind of slips into place. It'll dry out, which is good over time. But just on the edge, I'm gonna slip this inside, slip this first, and then this side's gonna go second. So the H&S gets mounted closest to this billet piece. All right, guys, so before installing this pipe and working on that bottom portion, what you want to do is remove this one bolt that secures the power steering What you want to do is remove this 8mm bolt that secures this power steering fluid reservoir. So you just you remove the bolt, pick it up just a little bit because there's a tab, and then you're going to be able to have enough space to get in there. What I'm going to do is work on this piece now, and this one's going to be super easy. I'm going to need 2 hands, but as you can see, I'm halfway in, and I'll get it in there. So as you can see, that side's on there. It just needs to be tightened down. Let's see, hopefully you can see that light or the portion right there. All right, so as you can see, that is flush with the intercooler. So what we're gonna do is go we're gonna go underneath the engine bay and check from underneath to see that it is fully seated on the bottom. All right, guys, I think you can see that. So it is fully seated on the bottom, and zoom in. All right, as you can see right there. So what that means for us, we're ready for the clamps and to tighten them down. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Here is the finished product. This is tightened down. It's not overly tight, but I can see where there's some small ridges on the edges of the actual clamp. So that's what you want to see. You don't want to tear into it. There are grooves in there, so once it bites, it sits. You want to put your power steering fluid reservoir back on. Put that 8mm bolt. Before I forget, these bolts that came with the kit are 11mm or 7/16, the same size that came on the factory clamps. Make sure you plug that in. Everything is going to be good to go. Hopefully that helped you out. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and let me know. But until next time, see y'all.